Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, recently re-elected Washoe County Commissioner Bob Lucey for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. 40 years ago, Hotel California and the theme from Rocky were #1 on the pop charts, and D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal started on the road to becoming Nevada's leading roofing company.
I couldn't be more proud of what we've achieved.
And over these 40 years, we've become an employee-owned company. So when you're talking to any employee, you're talking to an owner.
And here's to the next 40 years.
Happy 40th birthday, D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal.
Nearly 200,000 Nevadans work in retail businesses, supporting families and the community. Nevada's retail businesses generated over $2 billion in sales tax revenue in 1 year, including nearly $700 million to help our schools. Shop around and see all that Nevada's retailers offer our state.
We're the Retail Association of Nevada, representing thousands of Nevada businesses.
Businesses that work for Nevada.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Bob Lucey, the Washoe County Commissioner. He just got re-elected. I was the moderator at one of your very first debates, the first time around.
Yes, you were. It was an honor.
Yeah, so let's not get crazy. But anyway, it's a pleasure to have you back on the program, and congratulations on the race.
Thank you,
So
Sam.
as you look at the next 4 years for Washoe County, what are you looking at? Because we have obviously tremendous growth. That's going to continue. There's no way to stop that.
Right.
But you also have a battle going on between the County Commission and the Reno City Council, which you've been trying to head off here. How is that going?
Well, you know, I think you're right, Sam. I think we're really at those still kind of crossroads. As the county continues to grow, we're looking at constant challenges, whether it comes to infrastructure, schools, public safety, things of those matters. And we have those, and we still have those same issues that we have to deal with the cities. We're going into another legislative session, so we got some interesting stuff coming up. And we're going to, but I think the biggest thing we got to keep working on is how we manage the growth, how we continue to protect our citizens, make sure that they get all the services that they need, at the same time as working with the city government, municipalities, to work towards a more regional effort on addressing some of these issues as it pertains to planning, as it pertains to growth, so that we're not continuously, as I've always said from when I first got elected, chasing a problem. We want to get in front of it and really be proactive about how we deal with this so that we don't find ourselves in situations where we're digging ourselves out of a hole.
Okay, so what would you say the 3 biggest obstacles you're dealing with between the county and the city at this point?
You know, obviously the 3 biggest issues that we're probably dealing with are still transportation, planning, regional planning, and how we go and continue to grow as a community, and public safety. So transportation speaking, we before we came on air, we were talking about roads and how some of the challenges are within the area, you know, and how it's so dependent upon like Washoe RTC to fund so many of these road projects, whether it's Southeast Connector, whether it's widening of I-580 and Spaghetti Bowl. There's so many projects just around the primary routes. But when you get off into these subdivisions out into the county areas, parts of Reno, parts of Sparks, they need lights, they need crosswalks, they need challenges like that. And so those are the things we're going to have to continue to address as we continue to grow and be as smart as we can with planning areas so that roads and different connectors are efficient, and we're not doing the same work twice.
Okay, so now the mayor has been reelected as well for another 4-year term. Right. How is your relationship with her, and how is it working through these issues with her?
You know, I feel like I've had a good opportunity to work with Mayor Sheevy. She and I sit on a number of boards together and have worked on quite a few issues, from homeless to tourism in the region, and have a great working relationship. And so I want to continue to work on that relationship with Mayor Sheevy and all the Reno City Council, and also Mayor-elect Ron Smith, who will be taking his seat in the next couple of days.
Of Sparks.
Of Sparks. And so I think it's really important that we continue to work together, because these are really regional issues. It's not, you know, these issues don't end at a city line. They really are across the board, no matter where you are within the Truckee Meadows.
Tom Gallagher of Summit Engineering was on the program, and he was talking and complaining about Story County and the growth that Story County is generating, and the costs that are associated with that growth that come into Washoe County, Reno Sparks. And I brought back to him the argument on the other side, which is these thousands, literally thousands of jobs that have been created in Story County are providing rivers of cash in terms of how much money these people make and how much they are spending in Reno Sparks to offset the costs of, you know, what they're doing. So where do you come down on this? Do you think that there should be increased taxation of some kind or another on Story County to provide for the growth? Or do you see the money coming out of the Story County area that is providing money for everything?
When I say, it's a double-edged sword. I think that the growth itself and the causation based upon those businesses being out in Story County causes some expedited issues that we're going to have to deal with. However, when you look at the county budgets and the city's budgets, primarily the county, 52% of our budget is based around property tax, and then a good another chunk of that is around C tax, so sales tax, you know, different things, personal property tax for businesses that are growing in this area. So if those individuals are here buying homes, living in our community, they're generating that property tax, which we need. Then they, at the same time, they're buying gas, they're going to the grocery store, they're living here in Washoe County, and they're spending their time in Washoe County. So I think there is a direct benefit for those individuals from living here in the community, and we're the only really truly the community that's established that can house these individuals. You can't put all these people in Story County. They don't have the schools, they don't have the roads, they don't have the infrastructure out there to really handle that kind of
And
massive.
they don't want it.
They don't want it.
There is going to be some development out of Painted Rock. Looks like Blockchains LLC is going to develop, I believe, about 800 units out there, and that's an area of Story County that was designated for housing. Right. But in general terms, that's not what Story County has been about.
No, and realistically, when you talk about the capacity in which you need to be sustainable, 800 homes is not going to be, it's not really going to move the needle. But when you talk about 10,000 homes and significant growth in the area, that can move the needle. And you see that growth from the South Valleys to Spanish Springs to Cold Springs area throughout all the regions, you know, County, Reno, and Sparks, that we're seeing this growth, and it's directly impactful to the tax benefit or the tax growth within our region that keeps our services going, which will, like I said, gets back to making sure that our jail is up to par, and make sure that we have enough public safety for all the individuals out there, making sure that we continue to add infrastructure, roads, sewer, water, those kinds of things.
Now, the interesting thing is, you know, we have a newly elected U.S. Senator, Jackie Rosen. She will be a freshman. Right. Catherine Cortez Masto, 2 years in. They are both essentially freshmen. It's going to be years before they develop clout in the Congress if they keep getting reelected, which is saying something, you know, just right there. So all those infrastructure needs that in the past were taken care of to an extent by Senator Reed across the state, that power is now gone. Yeah. Whatever power Dean Heller had amassed is gone. No. So now the funding all comes down to the people of the areas in Nevada that want to see that infrastructure.
That's right.
Have you talked to Congressman Amadei since the election and the change of power in the Congress to, you know, will we see infrastructure bills coming out of Congress that will help this area and our state, or is it going to be down to we need to raise taxes.
I think for the time being, you know, we still are hoping that we'll see maybe an infrastructure bill come through the next Congress. It won't be obviously in this lame duck session, but it will probably in the next Congress. Hopefully we'll see another infrastructure bill. What that will be and what the size of that will be, I'm not sure. But it is something that is at least bipartisan enough initiative that we can get behind. But as you pointed out, with two technically freshman senators who are based out of the South, but they do know northern issues, but are primarily from the South, we're going to have to spend a lot of time back there educating our federal delegation about the issues in northern Nevada and how those things have directly impact our area. If we don't get that federal funding, how we're going to miss out. So we're going to have to help them, no matter what it is, educate it on where we stand on certain issues. But for the time being, we're going to have to tighten up our belt and figure out how to fund some of these projects on our own, because I don't see that federal funding coming in very quickly.
You know, I've said for years, as the power has shifted from the north to the south in Nevada, that, you know, people in the north over time have complained about Las Vegas. People in Las Vegas have no idea where the north is. They think that Reno is comparable to Ely or Elko in terms of size and stature, and that we should be doing a public relations campaign for the legislature and for our congressional delegation to let them know how many people live here, what the needs are. And I think if we don't do something like that, then we're going to be lost.
Well, and I think you're going to see, I agree with you, and I think you're going to see it at the state legislature as well, because not only now in the federal delegation do we have freshmen, you know, Susie Lee is a new congresswoman from the South, you know, Congressman Horsford has been back there, but he served one Congress and now is going back for a second term, or a second run. You know, obviously Congresswoman Titus, but we have a number of delegation in the federal that are still doing, but if you look at the state legislature, both the Assembly and the Senate, you're going to have brand new members, freshman members, a majority of those being from the South, once again, that aren't cognizant of really what's going on in the North, what's going on in the rural parts of the communities, the rural parts of the state, and how that directly impacts what the rules and laws that they make at the legislature are going to directly impact, whether it's taxation, whether it's spending programs, whatever that could be. It can be definitely challenging. So we're going to absolutely need to get out and start meeting with these Southern legislators and really educating them on the issues that we have here in the North.
And I guess my point is that it's not going to be something you do 4 months out every 2 years.
No,
it's something that needs to be ongoing.
Consistent.
And, you know, where the money comes from, that's to be debated. But without that kind of recognition, people in Las Vegas are going, hey, our roads are packed. I mean, they've been saying it for years.
Right.
Our roads are packed. We need all the money here because we've got 2 million people heading towards 3 million. What do we care about rural Nevada, which would include at this point, in their opinion, I'm sure, Washoe County.
Reno and Washoe County. And it's a real challenge for us here in the North to make sure that people understand the issues, but we'll keep working on it.
All right, let's take a break. More with Bob Lucey. He's on the Washoe County Commission after this.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia.
Yeah. How do you shed some light on a better economy? Start with growth inspired by Valley Electric Association. We're a member-owned power company that puts Nevada first, and we're doing big things, like providing prosperity by securing renewable energy projects. For Nevada, that means more jobs and more opportunities, all for a strong statewide economy. In other words, together, we're doing powerful things. Visit us at vea.coop to learn more.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Bob Lucey. He's a Washoe County Commissioner, just reelected. Let's talk about the Republican Party, because I think that a lot of people in the Republican Party at this point have a lot of self-doubt, driven in, I think, large part by the media, who write stories that indicate things whether they're actually true or not. And then the more you repeat them, the more that people believe them to actually be true.
Right.
They're saying at this point in time that Nevada has turned from purple to blue because of Washoe County. But in my experience and looking at Washoe County, there is still a lot of opportunity for Republicans to be successful. It's just a question of, not at a time when you have 70% plus turnout in a midterm election.
Which is unheard of. I mean, when you see 70% in the midterms, it just absolutely astounds you. I mean, we have 269,000.
Tells you how mad people are.
Absolutely. 269,000 people when you have almost 190,000 show up to vote. That's a big deal. And so I think I don't want to say that we're going to be all blue, or it's going to be predominantly Democrat from here on out. I think I think the discussion is just what you said. I think we all heard it as candidates, is that the people have a voice and they're going to make sure that it's heard. And if you can't just show up every 2 years and hope to spend time with them or catch their ear, they want to be heard constantly. And I think one of the biggest downfalls that we've seen within the party is technology. And when I say technology, I say that loosely. It's that our ability to get information instantaneously. It's that instant gratification. And most people are now flocking to issues without doing a whole lot of background investigation into really what are the facts and the information that they should be relying on. So much of people's decision making anymore comes from what's ever on social media, what's quickly dispersed, what are the taglines within a news story. And we've really got to spend more time interacting with individuals, trying to educate them on really what the issues are, because you saw electeds that didn't participate, that didn't participate with their communities, community forums, going out and educating individuals, felt like those are the ones that lost the races. I mean, I felt that it was very close. I mean, anywhere in any race, any party could have won. And it was because those individuals were getting out, they were talking to people, and they were trying to do a good job. But if you're not doing that, if you're not spending the time within your constituent base, if you're not looking at your residents, if you're not talking to the people, finding out what the issues are that really are important to them, and educating on how the process goes, you're not doing a service, and you're not really acting as a true elected official, in my opinion. And I think that's where we failed with the party this year.
What do you think about the Hispanic vote? Do you have any information yet on the turnout and actual voting of the Hispanic community in Northern Nevada?
We haven't canvassed the vote yet, and we will, and we'll get all that information tomorrow.
Because I'm really looking forward to hearing that, because so much money was spent on Univision, Telemundo, and other Hispanic television stations. I mean, it was a ton of dough. I mean, way more than we've seen in previous years. But in speaking to a lot of members of the Hispanic community, there was concern that perhaps there would be problems if they went to the polls in terms of immigration or other things. And I'm not talking about people who are illegal. I'm talking about people who are legal who had concerns that just by going to vote that they may cause problems for themselves.
And I think the Hispanic group is one that is overlooked more often than not, and which is a real problem, because,
by the way, not by Democrats.
No, but overlooked nonetheless. And I think you're right. But as voters, they don't necessarily always vote party line. They will vote the issue. They will vote somebody who is related, that they can relate to in regards to the issues, whether it's immigration.
Republicans should own the Hispanic community.
Absolutely.
Hardworking business people, conservative
American
religion.
dream, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and yet the Republican Party, for the last several cycles, has done nothing but beat up on this group.
Disenfranchise that group.
When they should be a part of the Republican Party.
Absolutely, and I think it's a travesty that we've done that, because we really should be welcoming a lot of the Hispanic community into the party and really building upon that base. And we're failing to do so. And so it's with small little trigger issues that really usually push people away, because we're not willing to, relax on certain things as it comes to immigration.
Do you think, now you have a different view because you're a county commissioner, so you see more than the average person does. Do you think that the average person, even the average Republican, realizes the amount of money that flows into the community, both in Las Vegas and Reno, from the Hispanic community? Because it is huge.
No, I think people have no clue how much money is generated by that group of individuals and the Hispanic community. I think people have this perception that they don't have any financial gains, and I tell you what, that is such a misconception. Such a misconception, because these individuals are hardworking, they're business owners, they're self-starters, they save every penny, they're family oriented as a group. I tell you, they work their tails off, and they're the individuals that really want that kind of. They figure they're paying their taxes, they want those services, and those are the candidates that they were looking for. The Hispanic community is looking for those individuals. And so if you can relate to their issues and you can relate to their problems and help educate, I think they're a voting base that we could really benefit from if you just take the time to listen to them. So,
all right, let's take another break, and we'll be back more with Bob Lucey after this.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Come visit Design Outdoor's store and backyard to see our wide selection of fire pits, barbecues, and pizza ovens, natural stone water features and fountains, and frost-proof pottery. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
I can't do it. Stupid, like my mom.
We can't do anything at Mommy's because you won't pay child support.
Dad said you cheated, and he's not even sure he's my dad.
Mommy said you left both of us, so she isn't gonna let me see you. I look just like my father.
I'm divorce attorney Marilyn York, and I may represent men, but hate has no gender, only casualties. Please, stop sacrificing your children in your war against your ex.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Bob Lucey. He's on the Washoe County Commission and just reelected. One of the big stories of the last couple of years has been the Las Vegas Convention Center's expansion.
Right.
Huge expansion, $1.2 billion, somewhere in that neighborhood, and going to be completed within a couple of years. But the big story in northern Nevada is the need to expand the convention center up in northern Nevada. My understanding is that there are hotel casinos that are ready to build rooms if this thing gets approved. Where are we in this process?
So we still are going through the process of identifying what the project is. You know, what do we really need? What is the, can we survive on the economy class car, or do we really need to go for the luxury model like Las Vegas is doing? What is going to be enough business to be sustainable in northern Nevada?
Okay, so I guess the real question is, and we have a limited amount of time
sure,
here.
no problem.
Safari Club is a huge convention that just returned to the Reno Sparks
Right.
area. You've got the bicycle convention, Interbike, that was huge. How many more of those are out there that would be able to justify the expense of expanding the convention center to be able to accommodate that piece of the business?
Based upon the information that we've collected, there's probably about 60 pieces of business out there that are looking for a location that they've either outgrown or they're multi-city traveling show. And so there's about 60 pieces of business that we could go out and entertain immediately if we had that size. Right now, with the 4 shows that we've added, the 4 shows that we have potential that would get that just fit in our convention center, if those shows are to grow at all in any size or capacity, we will no longer be able to house them. So we have to identify what the project is so that we know that it's fundamentally within our ability to fund and continue to sustain. But at the same time, we need to add something so that we don't lose business. Because if we don't, the convention business is the bread and butter, what I call about our tourism. Because it's something that we can always calculate. We always know what it's going to be 4, 5, 6 years out, because that's how far these conventions are planning. And so if we can plan that, we know that tax revenue is coming, we know those room nights are going to be there. That allows for the performance for those hotels to say, hey, look, we'll add hotel rooms, we'll add space, we'll do whatever we need to do. It helps with our airport in regards to seat capacity and load capacity for our airlines. So we need to have that kind of business.
Okay, and so I'm thinking you're a yes.
I'm totally a yes. I've always been supportive of it, just what that yes looks like.
All right, that's where we got to leave it. Bob Lucey, you're always welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Good seeing you.
And we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also download podcasts of the show free of charge from iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. We'll see you on the next broadcast.